Welcome to the deep dive. We take the information you need, sort of zero in on the core insights, giving you that focused understanding without you having to do all the searching.
And today, we're diving into a story. It's called Ambitious but Lazy, from famous people, English stories.
Right. And it follows this woman, Mia. It really gets to the heart of something I think many of us grapple with, that distance between our dreams and what we actually manage to do day to day.
Exactly. Mia's got these big ideas buzzing around. Start a business, become a millionaire, live on the beach, all that stuff. You can picture the sticky notes.
Yeah, you can. But the story shows how easily those plans get, well, bogged down. Distractions, putting things off. So our mission today is to really dissect that. Ambition versus procrastination. What's really going on there? What makes someone finally start? And maybe more importantly, how do you keep going?
It's about bridging that gap, really. For anyone who's felt that disconnect between wanting something and, well, actually doing the work to get it.
Okay, so let's start where the story starts. Chapter 1. The Dreamer. We meet Mia. She's in her apartment. It's a bit messy.
Surrounded by those sticky notes, like you said. Evidence of ambition.
Right. But what's she actually doing?
Well, that's the thing. She's spending hours scrolling social media, watching other successful people.
Thinking, I could do that.
Exactly. But always with an excuse ready. I'm tired. I need more time to plan.
Yeah.
Like the drill.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
It's that gap. Okay, their ambition is there, clearly, but the action isn't, and she feels bad about it at night, knows she's wasting time.
And there's that conversation with her friend Lily. Mia says she wants freedom, wants to be her own boss, but, doesn't want to work all the time.
And Lily just cuts right through it.
She does. You don't have to work all the time, Mia, but you do have to start. Simple as that.
Such a direct hit. But even that doesn't quite flip the switch, does it?
Not immediately. What really forces the issue is the external pressure. That final rent notice.
Okay. Reality bites. Lack of income. Savings gone from her old cafe job.
Yeah. And that's the moment. That's when she has that honest thought. I'm ambitious, but I've been lazy.
It's a tough realization, but crucial. It's not blaming, just seeing clearly.
Right. And it shifts something. She stops just dreaming and starts making a different kind of list.
Yeah.
An action list.
Like what?
Small things. Concrete things. Wake up at 7 a.m., apply to 3 jobs, finish 1 project, no phone until after lunch, 1 hour of focused work.
Okay, so it's moving from those big, vague goals to actual manageable steps, breaking it down.
Exactly, from theory to practice. Which leads us into Chapter 2. The first step is the hardest.
Because knowing what to do and actually doing it are two different things, especially at first.
For sure. The story shows her struggling with that new routine. The alarm goes off, the temptation to just roll over.
We've all been there.
But she has this internal prompt. Just try. It's about lowering that initial barrier.
Not committing to perfection, just starting.
Yeah. And she does. She starts applying for these remote jobs, virtual assistant, customer service things maybe she felt were, beneath her before.
Setting the ego aside a bit.
Seems like it. And she finishes an old logo design project she'd abandoned.
Tackling something unfinished? I must have felt did.
Right. And the story says, done felt better than perfect. That's huge.
Such a powerful idea. Letting go of perfectionism to actually get something completed.
But it's not like magic. It's still a struggle. Distractions still pull at her. Old habits die hard.
So it's not a complete 180 overnight.
No, not at all. But now she has a way to handle it. She tells herself, it's okay, just go back to the list. She's building that muscle of redirecting herself.
Self-regulation. Okay. And then something positive happens.
Yes, she gets an interview for a freelance writing job. And her answer to "tell me about yourself" is really insightful.
What does she say?
She says, basically, "I'm someone who's learning how to stop planning and start doing. I used to wait for the perfect time. Now I just begin."
Wow. That's incredibly honest and vulnerable.
And it works. She gets the job, earns her first $150.
That first tangible reward.
Yeah. And it's not just the money, it's the feeling, accomplishment, self-respect. She feels like she's finally respecting herself.
That's a fundamental shift from dreamer to doer, even if it's just the beginning.
It absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, new challenges pop up. Chapter 3, the comparison trap.
Oh, yes. You start making progress, you join some online groups maybe, and suddenly you're looking at everyone else.
Exactly. Mia's working, freelancing, but she starts seeing other freelancers share their wins. And it triggers those feelings of inadequacy. Why aren't I doing that well? Am I good enough?
It's so easy to fall into that. You only see their highlight reel, right? You don't see their struggles.
Mm-hmm. And that old lazy feeling comes back. But now it's tangled up with doubt. Maybe this is a waste of time. And she starts stalling again.
So progress isn't always linear. You can slide back.
Definitely. Luckily, Lily chimes in again with some wisdom.
What does she say this time?
Reminds her she's only seeing the best parts of others' journeys. And crucially, success isn't a race. You're building something. It takes time.
That's good advice. Slow and steady. But did Mia internalize that?
Well, what really helps is an exercise she does. She sits down and lists her own accomplishments over the last 30 days.
Yeah.
Small things, maybe, but they add up.
Seeing her own progress on paper.
Right. And she realizes, wait, I am growing, even if it feels slow. And that leads to a new rule for herself.
Which is,
No more comparing beginnings to someone else's middle.
ooh, I like that. That's very applicable for, well, anyone listening. How can you actually apply that?
Focus inward. Track your own progress. Celebrate your small wins. It's about your journey, not theirs.
Makes sense. And Mia develops another strategy too, right? The daily 3.
Yeah, that's a great one. One thing for income, one thing for skill development, and one thing for herself, like rest or well-being.
Balancing the hustle with self-care. That's crucial.
It really is. And it seems to work. She lands a better writing contract because someone liked a blog post she wrote something she did instead of just watching others.
So the consistent action pays off again. But the struggle isn't totally gone.
No, that lazy voice still whispers sometimes. But she learns to manage it better. She recognizes the difference between needing genuine rest and just wanting to escape.
The new rule being,
Rest is part of the plan. Avoiding is not. And she starts this action-focused journal. What did I build today?
acknowledging the small steps, reinforcing the doing.
Exactly. And Lily notices the change too, tells her, you're not just dreaming anymore, you're doing.
Which leads Mia to realize that hard isn't necessarily bad.
Right. It just means I'm growing.
Yeah.
And she puts up a new sticky note. Be patient with the climb.
Okay, so she's building momentum, learning to manage comparisons. What's next? Chapter 4, the shortcut.
Right. So 3 months have passed. Camilla's in a better place. Then she runs into Jade, an old classmate.
And Jade seems ambitious.
Very. And she makes Mia an offer. Become a content partner for her digital coaching brand. Promises quick money, like $2,000 this month. Easy.
The lure of the fast track, that's always tempting.
Extremely tempting. But Mia feels uneasy. Something about Jade's message doesn't sit right.
What's the message?
It's very hustle culture, kind of blamey. Success is in your mind. If you're poor, it's your fault. Hustle harder. No excuses.
Ooh. Yeah, that lacks nuance. And maybe empathy.
Totally. And Mia asks herself in her journal, is this what I want to be known for?
That's a powerful question. Values clarification.
And the answer is a clear no. She politely turns Jade down, says she wants to earn it honestly, slowly if I have to.
Choosing integrity over the quick buck. That takes strength.
It really does. And Lily reinforces it. Fast isn't always forward.
So true. Did sticking to her path work out?
Unexpectedly, yes. She writes this honest post on LinkedIn about her journey. It goes viral. And suddenly she has over 40 emails, 3 new clients.
Wow. So the authentic approach actually led to real opportunity.
Yeah. It contrasts sharply with Jade's offer. This was honest work, real connections, aligned with her values, not just chasing quick cash.
It reinforces that idea of building something solid versus something fast, but maybe flimsy.
Precisely. Her journal entry sums it up. You can grow fast or you can grow strong. I choose strong. And the sticky note. Say no to shortcuts. Say yes to your path.
Love that. Okay, so she's building strength, integrity. Then comes chapter 5. When the spotlight finds you, the viral post leads to more attention.
Exactly. Opportunities start flooding in. She's actually living that dream. Get paid to write from anywhere?
The dream achieved. But I sense a but coming.
There's always a but, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
The success brings new pressures. She starts taking on too much too quickly. Her routines start to break down. Stress creeps in.
It's the challenge of managing success, not just striving for it.
Right. And then comes a big opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
A feature in a campaign by a large online education company.
That sounds huge, but also scary.
Definitely scary. She's hit by imposter syndrome. What if I mess up? What if they find out I don't have it all together? All those fears surface.
That feeling of being found out. So relatable. Does she talk to Lily again?
She does. And Lily gives her probably the most crucial piece of advice yet.
Which is?
You always think you need to be more than you are, but maybe who you are right now
Yeah.
is exactly enough.
Wow. Just accept where you are. That's powerful.
It really lands with Mia. She has this moment in a cafe, acknowledges the fear, but also her journey. But I'm not that girl anymore. I've shown up every single day, and that counts.
Owning her effort, recognizing her consistency.
Yes. So she decides to do the campaign, not because she's suddenly fearless, but despite the fear.
Leaning into the discomfort again. And in the interview for the campaign video, what does she say?
She gives advice to her younger self, which is basically her core message now. Stop waiting to be perfect. You don't need a big plan, just one honest step forward.
Bringing it all back to that first step. And how's the campaign received?
Really positively. People connect with her honesty, her relatability. She gets messages saying she gave them hope.
So it wasn't just about her success, it was about the impact on others.
Exactly. She realizes it's about becoming real, not just being seen. That's the new sticky note. Being seen isn't the reward. Becoming real is.
Okay, so she's navigated comparison, shortcuts, even the spotlight. What could possibly go wrong now? Chapter 6, the burnout.
Ah, yes. The inevitable consequence of saying yes too much and running too hard for too long. Outwardly, she looks successful. Inwardly, exhausted.
It's afraid of slowing down, right?
Yeah.
Afraid of becoming lazy again.
That seems to be the fear driving her. Until one Sunday morning, she just hits a wall. Can't work. Mind blank, body heavy.
Classic signs.
She looks in the mirror and just sees it. I look exhausted.
The body keeping score.
Mm-hmm. And Lily shows up, supportive as always. Mia admits she's been overdoing it, driven by that old fear.
And Lily's response.
Pure reassurance. You're not lazy, Mia. You're just human. And humans need rest.
Permission to be human. Permission to rest.
Exactly. And Mia finally takes it, turns off the phone, takes a bath, consciously chooses rest.
And starts setting new boundaries.
Yes, new rules appear. Rest is part of success. And crucially, you don't have to earn your right to pause. She schedules no work time, quiet hours.
Actively building rest into the plan, not seeing it as failure.
Right. And gradually, her energy returns. She has this insight while sitting in a park journaling. Success without peace is just another kind of prison.
That really puts things in perspective. Achievement isn't everything if you're miserable.
And she reevaluates that whole lazy label.
Mm.
Realizes maybe sometimes her past inaction was actually her body signaling a need for rest, for care.
Yeah.
She just wasn't listening then.
Learning to interpret those signals differently.
Yeah. And this leads her to start sharing her experiences, making short videos about healthy work habits.
Can't get forward again.
Seems to be her pattern now. And people respond really well. One message says, "I thought rest was failure. You showed me it's wisdom."
Wow. So her struggle becomes a source of insight for others.
Exactly. She learns that real success is about purposeful movement, but also knowing when to stop. The final sticky for this phase. You're allowed to pause. That's how you keep going.
Such an important lesson. Okay, brings us to chapter 7, full circle. Where is Mia now?
She's working peacefully in her favorite cafe, writing a blog post. Guess the title.
Let me guess. How I went from ambitious but lazy.
To finally doing the work. Bingo. And then she sees a young woman, Sophia, crying in the same cafe.
And she recognizes something.
Yeah, she sees her past self in Sophia's struggle, ambition, inaction, the frustration.
So what does she do?
She approaches her, shares that she used to cry in that same cafe, offers that core piece of wisdom again. One honest step is better than 1,000 perfect plans.
Simple, direct, and from experience.
And she offers ongoing support, shares her contact info. It feels purposeful for Mia, helping Sophia. It reminds her of her own journey.
And it probably helps reframe that word lazy even more for her.
Completely. Later, Sophia messages her saying she took one small action. Mia's response: "That's not small. That's everything."
Because that first step is everything. It breaks the inertia.
Exactly. And Mia adds a new sticky note: "Help the next one rise." It's about community now, not just individual struggle.
A beautiful evolution. Which brings us to the final chapter, chapter 8, Becoming the Guide. A year on from that first real step.
Yep. A year later, her life looks different: focus, balance. And she has a new mission.
Let me guess, helping others like Sophia.
You got it. She creates the First Step Club, an online platform for the ambitious but stuck. Blog, podcast, tools, and a course called Lazy is a Lie.
Lazy is a lie. That's bold, directly challenging that internal critic.
Exactly. It reframes it as fear or overwhelm or needing rest, like we discussed. And she builds this platform patiently, steadily, applying all the lessons she learned.
No shortcuts this time.
No shortcuts. And on launch day, she feels peace, not panic. She knows its value.
And the feedback confirms it.
Yeah, early users find it really helpful, validating her approach. She even visits her parents, who are relieved and proud.
That must feel good.
Huge. Her journal reflects on the whole journey, the fears, the uncertainty, but ultimately, the power of just beginning, realizing the dream wasn't the destination, but the journey itself.
The process of becoming.
Precisely. And symbolically, she takes down all those old sticky notes, not throwing them away, but honoring them as memories of the climb.
Acknowledging the past, but moving forward.
Yeah. And the story ends with her by her window, ready to write a new goal on a blank sticky note. But this time, with intention, belief, and the wisdom of experience.
What a journey. So reflecting on Mia's story, it really illustrates that overcoming that ambition-action gap isn't one single thing.
No, it's multifaceted. It's that self-awareness, finding the courage for small steps, definitely managing comparisons.
Resisting those tempting shortcuts, being vulnerable, learning to actually rest.
and often finding that deeper purpose in helping others who are on a similar path.
And for you listening, hopefully Mia's story resonated. Maybe you saw parts of your own experience in hers.
Remember, the path isn't usually straight. It's messy. There are internal battles, external pressures. That's normal.
So maybe the question to leave you with is this. Building on Mia's experience, what's one small, honest step, just one that you can take today, towards a goal that maybe feels a bit distant right now?
Think about your own sticky notes. What's one tiny action that could just start the ball rolling?
Because as Mia learned, and as her story shows so clearly,
Real progress, the kind that changes things, it starts with that single step. Just begin.